Today we'll talk about the health risk assessment. And I'm your faculty for today, Professor Adrian Kennedy. The health risk assessment is the first step and probably the most important step in data collection. Not only is it an important step in collecting health data, it is also perhaps the most important first step in corporate health. The health risk assessment is known by several names, and since we have created this product that we are presenting to you, it goes under the copyright of the computerized health scan. Now, what does this computerized health scan do? Or what does a health risk assessment tool do? By the name, you will find that the health risk assessment evaluates health risks. And what are these health risks? These health risks are items or substances or products or categories of things that create a health-related problem in due course. For example, if you're evaluating the risk for high blood pressure, then your health risk items would be a high-fat diet, alcohol, obesity, stress, smoking. Perhaps these would be your risk factors for hypertension. If you were to talk about the risk for a heart attack, you would then talk about hypertension as being one of the risk factors, diabetes, hypercholesteremia, a family history, obesity, stress, and so on and so forth. So a health risk assessment is a product that evaluates your lifestyle for the risks for future disease. That is a health risk assessment. The computerized health scan, in this instance, is a product that not only evaluates your risks, but also gives you a corrective lifestyle prescription. So it will identify a risk. For example, it will say that you have a risk of hypertension, and then it will go on to tell you that in order to manage this risk, you will need to modify your diet, and it will give you a diet. You will need to do exercise, it will give you some exercise programs. You will need to quit alcohol or manage alcohol. It will give you a methodology, and so on and so forth. The word computerized would mean that all this is now automated, and so it becomes easily available. So, what does a health risk assessment or a computerized health scan do? It does health assessment. It evaluates your health. It then gives you a corrective health and lifestyle prescription. Now, this prescription is not a medical prescription for medication, but this is a lifestyle prescription to improve your health. And therefore, it will prescribe things like a changed diet, or more exercise activity, or less stress, and so on. Once it has this information relevant to the employees of an organization, it would then compile all this information and release a single prescription for the corporate. We usually refer to this as the health audit or the group profile. So you have, assume, 1,000 employees. Each employee will get an individual prescription and assessment. The compiled total of the 1,000 employees would go into a single printout after they each get the individual prescriptions would go into a single printout, and this printout is the health status of the organization. In addition to the individual receiving a health prescription, in addition to the individual receiving the health prescription, he will also receive a good health book, all on the system, a soft copy. So, if his individual prescription were to tell him to do certain exercises like calisthenics or gym training, then the book is the repository of what is a gym program, what are calisthenic movements, and so on and so forth. Now, what are the types of health scans available? The health scan is available offline. It is also available online, which means that you can use the health scan sitting at your desk. You can access your computer and you will get your health assessment and prescription. Or you could access your mobile. It is also an app. You can access your mobile and you will get a prescription on your mobile also, or an assessment. It is also standalone, meaning that you could take this product if you are a health professional and go to an organization and sit down in the organizational office and do the health assessment of the entire organization. So it is standalone, it is online also. It covers the entire spectrum of life. You have health scans for children from the ages of 5 onwards, right up to the age of 18, with different parameters for the teenager as opposed to the growing child or to the younger child. And then you have the health scan for adults, right on from age 18 right up to age 90 or 100, as the case may be. So the HRA or the computerized health scan is available to you through the entire range of your life. All you need to do is enter your age, and it will take you to the precise parameters required for you at that age. It naturally requires some compulsory bits of information. While your name is important to you for reasons of security and privacy, it may not be always necessary for you to enter your name, but we would definitely need your lifestyle information, your height, your weight, your gender. We would ask you questions on the diet, on the food you eat, on the exercises you do, on your family history, on your stresses. You would need to answer these questions with a yes, no, or don't know, as the case may be. We would like very much that you give us your medical diagnostics, your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels. But if you don't give it to us, we will manage without it. But naturally, if you give it to us, your prescription will be far more precise. However, keep in mind that this is a health risk assessment. If by chance you are unable to provide your blood pressure, for example, and in case we detect that you are stressed by virtue of the answer to your questions, we find out that your diet is inappropriate, we find out that you consume alcohol and smoke, do not exercise, well then the scan will identify you as at risk for hypertension. But naturally, the actual numbers will be far more relevant. So broadly speaking, what does the health scan do, or the health risk assessment do? It does the assessment, it evaluates your health in areas of nutrition, it evaluates your fitness levels, it evaluates your stress, it evaluates whether you have any addictive dependencies like smoking or alcohol, and then it gives you a lifestyle prescription. How do you reduce your cardiac risk or your cancer risk factors? How do you manage your headaches or body ache or other psychosomatic ailments? It lets you know your health status in a very precise way. It gives you a health score. The same way as there are precise numbers for height and weight, there is now, through the health scan, a precise number for your health. And this number is corroborated against 100, which means you would score about 60 or 70 or 50 or 40, and that would quantify you as being healthy or not so healthy. All this is done through a questionnaire. And this is what a questionnaire looks like. In this instance, you will see some components or some questions relevant to exercise and fitness. We ask you for your pulse rate, we ask you whether you can touch your toes and so on. And we ask you some questions on stress. In this instance, now, obviously, there would be questions on nutrition, there would be questions on your medical health status, and other questions. So we compile the questions, and the questions on your screen or in a hard copy would look something like this. In the first instance, in the questionnaire, on your screen or on paper, we would ask for your name. We would give you a unique number which you can correct and put in your own unique number for reasons of privacy. We would ask you your height and weight in centimeters or feet and inches as you have it, your gender, your age, your ethnicity. Your ethnicity would mean, are you European? Are you Asian? Are you African? Because this will help us to identify your BMI variables and so on and so forth. We ask for contact because in case we detect some error or we need some information, we would get in touch with you and ask you to upgrade the information. The first parameter that we evaluate is your medical condition. There are about 4 or 5 or 6 questions. We talk about your family history. Are you currently on medication? Can you give us your medical values for blood pressure or blood sugar? Are you currently taking any form of medication? And if so, for what? What ailments do you have? Headache, arthritis, digestive ailments, allergies, and so on and so forth? Or do you have dental problems, problems with the eye, and so on? So we have your medical information. We then ask for a comprehensive evaluation of your nutrition. Are you knowledgeable about nutrition? If you are, usually you will eat better. Do you have sufficient protein? We don't ask the question, do you have sufficient protein? We might ask the question, are you vegetarian or non-vegetarian? This would help us to understand your protein intake? Do you have saturated or unsaturated oils? For example, do you use sunflower oil or rice bran oil? These are unsaturated oils. Or do you use margarine, which is saturated? We ask questions about sugar and salt, about the amount of fluid you consume, and then correlate it with your blood viscosity. We check whether you have vegetables and fruit to see whether you are getting sufficient micronutrients, antioxidants, vitamins and minerals. We ask about your eating habits. Do you have a heavy meal at night or a light meal at night? What is the time between meals? We talk in terms of commercial foods which are toxic to you or to any of us. They have high levels of sugar, high levels of salt, high levels of preservatives, high levels of coloring, all of which add to your cancer risk. So we evaluate your nutrition. Once we've asked the questions on nutrition, we will then move to physical fitness. We have already taken your height and weight. And now we ask you, what sort of a job do you have? Are you a physical or a manual worker? Or do you sit in the office all day? What is your heart rate? Can you hold your breath for about 45 seconds? It helps us to evaluate your cardiorespiratory status. Can you do a push-up or a sit-up? If you can, it would be indicative of your strength. Can you touch your toes, which is flexibility? Or do you have hypertension or diabetes or arthritis or back ailments, and therefore you are at risk for an injury or at risk to exercise? The picture you're looking at on the screen is an individual doing the strength test, the abdominal strength test. These tests take a matter of seconds in order to complete, and it gives us a good impression of your physical fitness levels. The health scan is perhaps the most comprehensive evaluator of stress. We talk in terms of psychosomatic ailments, headaches, insomnia, body pain, digestive ailments, skin allergies, rashes. All of these are psychosomatic or stress related. Either they cause stress or, more likely, they will impact your stress, or they will be the outcome of stress. Where is your stress coming from? Does it come from home? Are you compatible with your family members? Or is it coming at work? Is your salary perhaps too low? Or do you have burnout stress? Are you working too hard? Or is your job too far away and your commute time too long? What about your personality? Are you ambitious or competitive, result-oriented, or are you passive? Do you let people take advantage of you? Are you forced to do all the work simply because you cannot say no? We evaluate your personality. Do you have support systems? Can you turn to friends and relatives and family members and other professionals if you have problems? A medical problem, do you have a doctor in attendance? A legal problem, do you have a lawyer? A financial problem, is your bank supportive? Do you have a crisis which doesn't seem to have a solution? And has this crisis been carrying on for a long time? Or do you have daily hassles? You get up in the morning, the children have to go to school, your husband's breakfast needs to be made, you've got to rush to the office yourself. Your train is late or your commute is late? Do you have these daily hassles? Do you have a comfortable routine? Are you able to sleep for 8 hours? Are you able to do 1 hour of exercise? All this helps us to understand your stress. And then, most importantly, or very importantly, do you smoke? The biggest killer in the world, as we all know. Do you drink alcohol? Does it impact you to the point where it affects your family? Narcotics? Another family destroyer. When you travel, do you travel safely? In your automobile, do you wear your seatbelt or a helmet when you're driving a two-wheeler? At home and at work, do you adhere to the rules of safety? Recreational safety. Do you participate in dangerous activities, skydiving, and so on and so forth? Are you responsible sexually? And so on and so forth. These questions are asked. Within an instant, the computer gives you a prescription. Within an instant, because it's been programmed to give you that prescription. And this program was a consequence of decades and decades of work and hundreds of doctors who have contributed to this product. It has been validated by outstanding institutions and presented to outstanding institutions and received its world's copyright. It will give you a prescription which evaluates your health and corrects your lifestyle. It will give it to you in the form of a unique ID, and then it will define whether your medical status is good or excellent or needs improvement, and it will evaluate you from the point of view of nutrition and fitness and stress, and it gives you a precise score. You have scored 62 out of 100 in this instance. So you have the assessment on the one hand, and then you get a prescription on the other hand. It gives you a lifestyle prescription for your medical ailments. It leaves the prescription of medication to your physician. But to support your physician, it will give you the right things to do in terms of lifestyle change for blood pressure or diabetes, or for any existing condition, or to be supportive of your medication. It will give you the right diet, the right exercises, the right amount of sleep to make your medication more effective. Unique, absolutely unique to this product is the evaluation of age. You have what is age, which is chronological, in line with your date of birth. Your date of birth tells you your age. But we have discovered medically that there are many young individuals at 40 who have hypertension and diabetes and have had a cardiac event. And there are many individuals at 60 and 70 who have no hypertension, no diabetes, no arthritis, no cardiac events. And we've begun to realize that there is a new way to evaluate age, and that is body condition. Your body behaves according to its condition. If you treat your body badly, it will behave as if it is aged. If you treat your body well, then you get younger as you age and not older. So this is true age. And in order to do that, we evaluate your ailment status. We consider your lung capacity, your heart rate, your percentage of body fat, your flexibility, your strength, your metabolic activity levels. Do you smoke? Do you drink alcohol? Do you have stress? Have you suffered a cardiac event or cancer? All of these help us to come to a realization as to what your true age is. And it represents your age as, your chronological age is, in my case, 70. Your chronological age is 70, but your true age is 5 years younger due to the following reasons. And then it identifies the reasons. Your appropriate lung capacity, your excellent heart rate, your in-ratio body fat, your flexibility and strength levels, and so on and so forth. It indicates your true age. And then it gives you a dietary prescription. We've given you a medical prescription in lifestyle change. We've told you your true age. And now we give you your nutritional prescription. We consider first your weight, the amount of food you should eat or are eating. We modify it according to your medical condition in case you need a DASH diet because of hypertension. The DASH diet is the world's best diet for hypertension. Or we give you a high fiber diet for your diabetes. That's a therapeutic diet. We do the diet analysis. Are you having too much of sugar, too much of oil, too much of fat? We tell you the foods you should avoid. And most importantly, we tell you the foods that you should eat that you are currently not eating. So we give you a complete nutrition prescription to enhance your health. According to your age and gender, we give you an exercise prescription. For those of you or those of us who happen to have certain risk factors, we would advise you not to exercise until your doctor does not approve. And then we show you how to do a warm-up and a cool-down. Our prescription goes according to age and gender. We advise walking, jogging, swimming, cycling, etc. But we would certainly not advise the younger person to walk. We would prefer that he jogs. And so we give you your prescription according to your age. And then we give you strength exercises using your own body weight, or if you have access to a gym, we provide you with gym exercises. For flexibility, we could advise yoga, or we could advise Pilates, or we could advise a Tai Chi. We could advise many of these things. But most importantly, we advise you to get in touch with your trainer, because it is your trainer who will moderate the program to your precise needs. We will certainly give you a general program in case you don't have a trainer. But when you do go to a trainer, his years of experience will add value to your prescription. Stress. It says over there in the corner, get more sleep. That would obviously happen if you do not sleep enough. We identify your stress status. Are you highly stressed? Are you moderately stressed? Or do you have low levels of motivation? What are the causes of your stress? Is your stress coming from work, from home, from personality, from routine, from crisis? What is the cause? What are the remedies? If you have stress at work, what are your remedies? If you have personality stress, how do you modify your personality in order for it to be stress-free? If you have a bad routine, how do you change your routine so that you get 8 hours sleep, 8 hours family time, 8 hours work, with a little time taken off from family time or taken on to family time for you to do an hour of exercise. And we give you stress defense methods. We ask you to strengthen family relationships, improve your relationship with the job, to do your exercise, to manage your diet, to modify your personality. All of this goes into an excellent prescription to manage stress. Now remember, stress can be the cause of your ailments. It could give you headaches, irritability, and insomnia. And therefore, managing stress is a good medical remedy. And then, modifying behavior, to cut down alcohol, to quit smoking, to avoid narcotics, to adhere to safety at all times, every time. Remember that the older person could have a medical condition, but does that mean that the young individual is immune to mortality? No. The biggest killer of young people is injury, and automobile injury. An automobile injury can come at any time, especially for the young, who tend to be rash and less safety conscious. Drinking and driving is one of the major killers. And in today's scenario, your mobile phone is perhaps as big a deterrent to safety while driving as alcohol is. And then we put all of this in the form of numbers in what we call the positive health ranges. So we say that your age is 40 plus 6, which is 46, your true age. Your acceptable age is your chronological age, which is your date of birth. We talk in terms of your metabolism. You should eat 1,500 calories, but you're currently eating 1,700. Your weight should be 70, but your current weight is 75. Your blood pressure should be 120/80. It is 140/90. Your random sugar is 180. It should not exceed 110. Your heart rate is 80, and that is high. Your training heart zone during exercise should be between 130 and 160, but your heart rate should be at 72. Your lung capacity is not the acceptable 60 seconds, and your health score, which is currently 50, should go up beyond 60. Now, the health scan to every individual gives you exactly what you need to know for yourself. And therefore, it would be different for each individual. Each individual would get a different diet, a different medical prescription, a different stress prescription, and so on. A different exercise program. It might tell you that you need to do weight training or go to the gym and to lift a weight which is half your body weight. into 6 repetitions or 3 repetitions into 2 or 3 sets. But what are the exercises? It may talk in terms of a bench press or a squat. The depiction of those exercises is in the Good Health book. The Good Health book contains information about nutrition in all its forms. It lets you know the calorie value of food. It lets you know what is health food. It lets you know the foods to avoid. It gives you all the information. So your prescription might say that you should have 1800 calories. What is 1800 calories? How many calories is there in an egg or a fruit? Your book will tell you that. If it tells you you should do yoga, how does one do yoga? Your book will tell you that. It will give you information on how to sleep better, how to meditate, how to relax. If it says you need to quit smoking, your book will advise you on the cut down method or the use of nicotine replacement therapy. If you need advice on dental or eye, your book will give you all the information you require. The Good Health book has about 40 odd pages full of general information. Your HRA gives you precise information. And this information is not only about you, it is also about your group, your organization. It could be your city, it could be your country, it could be your family, the group. As you can see over here, not only does it give you information about the group, the level of fitness or the level of exercise capacity or obesity or stress, it also compares year on year. In this instance, 2017, what was your status? Now 2019, what is your status? The tick mark indicates areas of improvement. And over here, we only indicated 5 parameters or 6 parameters. It gives you the financial parameters also. Improved productivity, reduced Medicare costs. So it gives you everything that a corporate needs to know on how it can get a return on investment in good health. As I mentioned earlier, it gives you the macro analysis of the main factors of lifestyle and then the micro analysis of the 75 sub-parameters. It gives you a group health score. It compares this group health score with previous year's health scores in order for you to ascertain whether you have improved in health or perhaps deteriorated. You might have improved in fitness, you might have improved in nutrition, you might have improved in stress, but it's perfectly possible that the numbers of smokers may have increased. So it gives you that precise information from year to year. It gives you the list of participants to enable you to substantiate who has done the medical screening this year. It gives you no information beyond that about the individual. It gives you no information about the individual because it has to be respectful of the HIPAA guidelines for privacy. But it will let you know the group statistics, which individual has had a medical screening this year and which individual has not, so that it can be planned for the next year. Of course, medical screenings should be conducted every year. It is able to quantify the percentile of individuals who are high risk and high cost. And your objective must be to reduce this number from year on year. It is able to say whether 60 or 70 or 80% of your individuals are highly stressed, so that you can remedy your systems to reduce stress. It will even, through the microanalysis, identify the causes of stress so that you can reduce those causes. It may be work burnout, it could be work overload, it could be distance from home, it could be insufficient pay package, it could be work shift, it could be many reasons that will help you to rectify the problem. It will give you the percentile that is relevant, or the percentile of smokers, so that you can plan a quit smoking program or an Alcoholics Anonymous group, and so on and so forth. It will create a method that enables you to categorize your employees in different groups. The stress individuals, the weight loss individuals, the keep fit individuals, the quit smoking individuals. And then you could create programs for these individuals so that the next year you will have had 1 year of effort to improve, and most likely you will get a return on investment and a return on health. Friends, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you on the computerized health scan. I look forward to these opportunities more frequently. Thank you so much.